Welcome to Will at Work. I'm Kevin, and today we are looking at the Midway Classic Arcade Classics Volume 1. Contains 3 games, Joust, Gauntlet, and Defender. It's the first time I've seen one of these standalone joystick things support Gauntlet, or Defender, I think. So that's kind of cool. Joust, I think we've seen at least the Atari 2600 version of Joust on other units. This was made by MSI. The company, I think, makes some graphics cards and things now. They made a series of these. We've looked at a couple of other ones from them. I think maybe 2 or 3. I don't know how many they made in total, but I think not many. And so we will open this one up. This one is not sealed, and I think it's been used. The plastic on the front needs to be glued back on here. It looks like it's kind of come undone, but that's no big deal. It's possible that this was never played, but anything that's never been, or that's already like been opened, see, it's got these little feet on here, and I think you can turn these, and then and then they can come off. So it's not, you can put them back on pretty easily and not ruin the packaging, so to speak. So that's nice. Sometimes you can't take those off, and it's a big pain in the ass. So you get this big knobby joystick. It's got a lot of play in it, but it sounds like it's micro switched, which is nice. Buttons seem okay, not bad. So what I'll do is I'll go ahead and I'll put some AA's in it. We'll switch over to the video side and we'll see how our emulation is, and if we're dealing with 2600 ports or NES ports or arcade, etc. Okay, here we go. Looking at the Midway Classic Arcade from MSI, we have Joust, Gauntlet 2, and Defender 2. So that's interesting. It didn't say that actually on the box. It says Gauntlet 2. Oh, it does say Gauntlet 2. And Defender, although the graphics just says Gauntlet, but the writing says Gauntlet 2. Defender just says Defender, though. I'm not sure what's going on there. Let's take a look at Gauntlet 2. So I'm pretty sure that's not the arcade intro we're looking at here. That kind of looks like the Commodore 64. Might be the NES. Can't say for sure. Press button to begin. So I'm not sure how you would play Valkyrie, Wizard, or Elf, since I didn't really pick who I wanted to be. So this, to me, the 8-bit games are so difficult sometimes to know if they're, if I'm dealing with a arcade version or a clone, simply because, like, the limitations are so odd. But it did have voice work, right? Was the NES capable of digital voice? Could it say, like, Welcome Warrior and all that? I know the Commodore 64 could kind of do that. But take a lot of memory. Still, it feels a bit... doesn't feel like an arcade game to me. But I could be wrong. Now, let's see. Let's hit reset here. Let's look at this again. I want to see if you can select a different character. I'm going to try pushing the joystick in a direction. I'm going to push down. That's see, I can change the name on the left. Elf, Valkyrie, Warrior, Wizard, and then hit A. Yeah, I don't know. That's the mystery, I guess, is can the NES do voice work? I don't know. I just don't know. All right, let's look at Joust. We've seen a lot of Joust on this show. If you watch the series on here, you're aware that there's quite a bit of Joust. So see, that doesn't look like any of the Jousts we've looked at so far. Could it be the arcade version of Joust? Maybe. Have we looked at that? I thought we did. This does look pretty good. I mean, if it's not the arcade version, it's pretty advanced. I mean, the 7800, I think, version that we looked at was not even that great. Kind of really hauling ass, though. All right. So that's interesting. That's a really interesting little unit. I guess we'll look at Defender. That's the last one. Really kind of makes me think this is a Commodore 64 emulator. I'm tempted to Defender was an interesting thing in the arcade because it was made by Bally and Midway, and then there was also like a Williams, right? And one was like regular Defender, and one was Stargate Defender, and so you had all of these different versions of Defender in the same arcade, which was unusual. I was never a big fan of it. It gets too hectic, too quick. It's like, guys are getting taken off screen and you're trying to battle against things, on screen. And see, there's a Stargate. It's interesting. Okay, I'm going to pause the recording right here. I'm just going to see if I can find a little bit of background on this and find out what the emulator is that they're using, and so we can all know. 1 second. Well, as expected, it is an NES. These are the NES ports of all three. So that's it speaks well of the NES. It was capable of doing digital voice work. I was unaware of that. I don't recall it being heavily used, but it was a thing at the time. In some games, that would have it just to kind of show off. And yeah, it basically this is just a NES emulator then with 3 games on it. And probably there's somebody out there that's hacked it, stuck a memory card in it somehow, and made it play all the NES games on one joystick. It seems a little bit amped up, and the joystick's really big. You'd be better off playing something with a gamepad than this. But, it's got some nice artwork on it, etc. And, for what it is, it's okay. It'd be really nice, though, if a lot of these things had either been direct ports like the Mortal Kombat that Jack Specific did, where they designed it specifically for the joystick itself, or they used arcade versions. I don't know what the difference in processing power would be to put the arcade version on something with the RAM rather than the old NES on a chip, but I think you would get with any of these things, with any of these classic mini arcade systems, joystick systems, and stuff. Like, if you gave people the actual arcade games, I think it would get more mileage than just giving people a few NES games that they already can access through a variety of other both clone systems and emulators online. But anyway, I mean, yeah, you can do that with the arcades. But I don't know, when you're having like a big arcade joystick and arcade buttons, you got micro switches here and stuff. Having the actual arcade game makes more sense. Like, why have the big dumb joystick if you're not gonna, if you're playing an NES game that uses the thumb pad? You know what I mean? It's kind of weird. But anyway, thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next video.